Welcome back, guys. Profit Picks here. Just got the website up. Got to do a little bit of editing, but if you want to go down here, check out a lot of our bet slips that we've been hitting. Working with Jonathan. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Jared. Jared's getting in a training camp, so we're not going to be seeing too much of him lately, but we're wishing him luck. Hopefully we'll do an interview with him soon. But check out the website if you want to join the team. $19.99 a month. You get all of our straight bets. $50 a month, you're going to get all of our round robins, Hail Marys, parlays, and our prop bets. So go ahead, check it out. It works a little bit better on your phone. But you guys should be gambling with people who are actually betting these games. And a lot of these cappers out here, they're doing it for sponsorships. Regardless, we're going to bet these games. And you should be supporting the ones who are putting their money where their mouth is, just to be honest. So let's get right into this card. First fight, Jeremiah Wells and the Blood Diamond. I love this fight. A lot of questions behind this fight. And my question about this fight is, will Jeremiah Wells be smart? Will he go for the takedown? He did against Warlley Alves. It's kind of safe to assume that he's going to have a wrestling game plan against the Blood Diamond. You know, anyone coming out of Izzy's camp, your first game plan or your first strategy should be BJJ in wrestling based, 100%, especially coming from, you know, Renzo Gracie in Philly. How do you not? I understand why he's the favorite. However, if he comes out looking to bang, it's not going to look good for him at all. I know he's got power, but you have to trust Blood Diamond's chin and his resume over this. Like I know they played this fight a lot. I know this was over 11 years ago, but he was a fish out of water in that fight. He's come a long way, but you can't trust this guy on the feet. But the one last thing I'm going to bet on this fight is Wells by knockout. I understand he could get the ground and pound, but I'm more confident in a submission. But here's another question that we have. It's not often that we see Jeremiah Wells get past the first round, especially in the UFC. So how's he going to look if he doesn't get Blood Diamond out of there in the first or second round? Is he going to gas? There's a lot of questions around this fight. Safe pick is Jeremiah Wells. My first pick, when I first looked at this fight, he says, I love the no distance. However, why don't we take a little peek at that? It's juice to the gills. Absolutely juice. I want to say it's minus 400 to not go the distance. Minus 400, yeah. Can't be betting that. Guess you could use it as a parlay leg, but it's so juiced. Blood Diamond's durable. I trust his chin more than I trust Jeremiah Wells, to be honest. Let's take a look at his record. That's the thing, man. A lot of people are betting Jeremiah Wells because they haven't seen Blood Diamond face one wrestler yet. One fight that I did want to research or watch was this, but guy's super low level. Only fight was against Blood Diamond. Oh, yet another one. And I loved what I saw on the feet. I know he's sloppy, but you got to love the guy. I almost thought he had a drunken boxing style. You know, he lets his head bobble around a little bit. He's dancing in there, and I love it. This guy's going to be a great crowd pleaser in the UFC. They're giving him a horrible matchup. But this isn't a fight that I'm going to take or even bet on. You know what I might bet on? Round 2 to start. That's probably my most confident bet on this fight because I want to trust that Jeremiah Wells is going to go for the grappling, and I trust that Blood Diamond's going to have gas to at least fight him off for a round. But I think this fight's going to go a little while. You know, I do see a late finish, second, third round, depending on if Jeremiah can keep him down, gas out Blood Diamond, or if Blood Diamond can keep getting up and get to have a stand-up war with Jeremiah. But I'm telling you, every second that this is on the feet, it's going to look good for Blood Diamond. And that's what I'm worried about. So I'm kind of leaning. I've been back and forth all over this fight. That's why I'm just going to stay away from it. Not touching that fight. Am leaning a little bit towards the over, but the no distance was a really good pick. Bookies are already over that. Now this fight, Sergey Morozov and Andrade, I want to say 90% of people are picking Sergey. Even on Tapology, you might be able to check it. What do you see here? 76%. I know all the cappers on YouTube are picking him. I think I saw one guy pick Andrade. He struggles against wrestlers, and Sergey can wrestle, but Sergey struggles against wrestlers as well. I mean, he has a good resume. You know, Leron Murphy, it's not a bad loss. It's not a bad loss at all, especially at featherweight, up a division against a prospect. You know, this guy's coming off a knockout win against Makwan Mirkani. Give this guy some credit. Went 3 rounds. Douglas DeAndrade, super durable. Super durable. I know a lot of people are picking the over on this, and I trust the over as well. All you got to do is root for Sergey's chin to hold up. You know, only person who's finished this guy in his last, 6 fights was Rob Font and Peter Yan. This Marlon Vera fight's really aging well on his resume. Another fight that I'm probably going to stay away from due to all the money being on one side. If this goes to a tight decision, I could see them robbing all the bettors. But I like where this guy's training, and I love his sparring partners. Let's take a look at him. Oop, wrong guy. Remember, he was kind of hard to find. There it is. Yeah, he's at ATT. It's good camp. Gleason, T-Bow. I think he might be with, is he with Dillashaw as well? I know Dillashaw's back in camp. Trinaldo. He's training at a top-level camp. You know, so you might as well see some improvement from him. As well as he's durable as well. Only person finishing him. Who was it? Umar. Movzar, who are both UFC competition. Top level as well. Contenders. Definitely, this loss was tough. Going back and seeing this, you know, definitely wanted me to take Andrade. But I think the safest pick on this fight is the over 1.5 rounds. Probably going to be juiced up, but that's my safest pick. Another round 2 to start to bet. Over 1.5 rounds, minus 350, minus 335. It's a little juicy, but that's a good parlay leg. That's a safe leg to put in. I know there's not going to be these close fights. I'm just going to bet an over-under. Why gamble on a decision? You know, didn't we see what happened last week? Sean Strickland obliterates 5-round domination against Jack Hermanson. And a judge who's actually, if you look at Sal D'Amato's previous fights, he usually judges pretty on point. He's usually pretty accurate. And he's fair. Every so often, he'll throw a curveball in there. But you never know when something fishy is going to come out of the woodwork with these judges. In my opinion, I think there was a huge bet or a parlay with Sean Strickland by unanimous decision because his line by decision was plus 170. And I think he could have got an extra $50 on it if he just threw him in by unanimous, which wasn't a bad bet. I think if I had that, I'd be very upset with the books that I didn't get paid on that. I did bet that fight went to a split. I threw away the ticket, had to get it back because I forgot that I even won it. If you believe that. So, over 1.5, not a bad bet. Go small to start off the night, you know, reinvest the winnings. Now, we're getting into the good fights. AJ Dobson, Jacob Malcoon. I don't know if anyone noticed. Well, probably everyone noticed. I think some people I heard talking about it. Huge line dump on this. Opened up at 170, 160 area on all books. Excuse me. And tanked. A lot of people. I don't know if it was a correction or if it was a money dump. Sometimes I lead towards the money dump when these line movements occur, but it could have just been one book found out some information and all the other ones hopped on the bandwagon. Or one book told all these other books, hey, I got a huge bet that just came in on Malcoon, and they know he's a sharp, so they changed the line to properly bait some people. Even though this line movement came in, I still see everyone picking Dobson. Heck, I like Dobson. You know, Jacob Malcoon has an easy path to losing this fight, which is his chin. This fight had me back and forth. Second I saw Dobson, I was all over him, but not a bad punt. You just got to assume that Jacob Malcoon's also going to have a wrestling game plan in here. Seeing tape on AJ Dobson, how do you not come in? There's going to be a ton of these fights where you're just betting on trusting the fighter to have good IQ, to have a good game plan against these fighters. But with that being said, this is the day before the Super Bowl, right? February 11th. I believe it's the 12th. This date's wrong. February 12th, next day, Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. UFC is putting on so many fights. We got 15 fights. Hopefully they'll pose out and show up. No canceled ones yet, thank God. But they're having 15 fights to compete with Super Bowl Sunday. This is the greatest spot the UFC could be in, marketing-wise. Because they have a great card, which they're gonna, looking at these fights, a couple bangers here. You know, you got Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. Like, come on, everyone's going to be talking about that on Super Bowl Sunday. No one's going to be talking about the bowl. They're going to be talking about, hey, did you see that fight last night? You see Robert Whittaker's fight? You see Adesanya's fight? You see that Derek Lewis fight? You got 15 fights to talk about on Super Bowl Sunday. They wanted this. So you got to think the UFC is stylistically making these matchups with this in mind. How do we get people talking? They want bangers. That's why you got all these killers on this card. Bobby Green, who takes a fight, pick me guy. He was saying pick me in his interview. Yeah, they picked you all right. And that's great. They got a lot of killers on this card. Any guy who takes a fight, all the company men are on this card. But anyways, next fight, Malcoon. I might take a punt on AJ Dobson. I trust the hands. But we're going to learn about that grappling for sure. We are. We're going to learn if he can stop a takedown. Has one loss by sub against John Gunther, who's now in the UFC. I don't remember watching him. And this guy beat up Devontae Smith. Could win on his record. He's not losing the chumps. Not a bad amateur loss against a fellow UFC alum. Now, Jacob Malcoon, he's gotten his hype because he's Whittaker's training partner. That Phil Hawes is just definitely what's driving all these bets and all these predictions on AJ Dobson. He's just, huge underdog in this fight. What was he? Plus 240. And he was an underdog in this fight. I agree. The fight should have been even odds to begin with, but I know they've been working on their BJJ as well. Oh, snap. If Malcoon wins, I just see it going over. I don't really see him getting a finish. Maybe by sub, but I just don't trust those hands. And when he came into the UFC, everyone was saying he's primarily a kickboxer, but he's a wrestler now, I'll tell you that. Yeah. If I were him, I would come in with the BJJ. But I can't trust this fight. You got to see more of Dobson before you even put your money on him. I guess I would punt Dobson for a unit, but nothing too crazy, nothing I want to sweat about. Another fight that I would absolutely stay away. Now, this fight, because Carlos Elberg completely robbed me in the last fight. I gave him out last fight. Came out looking solid. Gassed out in the second round. Had no more juice. And that was striking. So you have to understand, he gassed himself out by striking. Unbelievable amount of volume. I think he threw over 100 punches in that first round. A lot landed. And we got Chinny, Fabio Charant. It's kind of giving a bad name to these Massachusetts guys who have a great chin, because I'd be backing all my Massachusetts guys on going the distance, and they usually always hit. But seems like a little bit of a trap fight, because we don't know how Alberg's going to do against a wrestler. And I don't know how many of you guys saw his interview. I can try to pull it up. But he had an interview, and it sounded like he was kind of trying to cherry pick his opponent. He sounded like he was insinuating that he didn't want to face a wrestler and for it to be on the ground for 15 minutes. He said he wanted a bang, and he said that's what he got in this matchup, and I completely disagree. Where can I find this interview? I'm not going to be able to find it. Now, I know Fabio Charant, he's a wrestler, but did he show that in his last fight? From what Alberg is seeing, he thinks he's going to get a stand-up fight. And I think he's in for a rude awakening. I really do think he is. Now, I think we're going to see Charant come in with a lot of new skills. If he can dodge a couple punches, maybe even survive a couple punches, I think he's going to make it. I really do. He might be a little bit outsized. Absolutely agree. That maybe he could, if this doesn't work out, he should maybe even go down another weight class. If he could make it. LFA champion. Look who he's been training with. Look at these guys. You are who you hang around with. And, hanging around with Phil Hawes, Derek Brunson all the time, you're going to show improvement. 100% you're going to show improvement. What else? What else did I see? I saw a good one. Yeah, look at this. This is training with John Jones at Fight Ready MMA and Fitness. He's moving around. He's going to Sanford. He's training with Derek Brunson MMA. Now he's at Fight Ready. He's moving around. He's learning different things. You're going to see a whole different fighter show up in here. This was before his last fight. No, this was after his last fight. Yeah, November, fought in August. He's going to show a lot new strokes. Usually after these guys get blasted, embarrassed in the UFC, they go back to the drawing board. They're working hard. You think they want that to happen again? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm almost willing to take a shot on Fabio Charant. I'm going to wait for the weigh-in, see if he has a great weight cut. I'm going to see how they match up together, make sure that the size difference isn't outrageous. But I think that if he can get Carlos Elberg out of the first round, and Carlos came in saying he was saying in interviews he's going to take it slow. And I like that. That's going to give Fabio a little bit more of a chance here. And that's what we need. We need Fabio to get a chance. I think he's going to get it done. I really do. Do I think he's going to get a finish? Not sure. Not sure. The Water Buffalo could wet blanket him for 3 rounds. But I'm almost thinking of pulling a shot. One of my underdog plays that I will be sniffing out, but I will be waiting. But I'm all set with Carlos Elberg. He put a sour taste in my mouth the last fight. That pissed me off. Ruined my 2-team parlay. I'll tell you that. All right, next fight. Renato Moycano, Alexander Hernandez. I hear a lot of people taking Hernandez. Wow, not a bad pick. Trusting the power. And trusting that Renato's chin's going to give out again. It's just, when he's fighting that next level, he doesn't show up. You get what I'm saying? And Renato's on that level, in my opinion. You know, beating Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert just came out and looked like $1 million in his last fight. You know what I'm saying? Knocking out Kama Worthy in the first round. Yeah, looking sensational. That was easy. Had that fight. Fiziev, not a bad loss. Come on, the guy's contender. Top 10. Maybe even a top 5 fighter. On his way up. Demir, not the greatest win. Come on. The zombie. Got you in the first minute, which is a little bad. You couldn't have survived a little bit longer, you know. Jose Aldo, his best 2 fights. He was winning against Brian Ortega. If he didn't get fluke choked in that fight, he was going to win. So we could almost count this a win right here. He won 2 rounds against Ortega. He got crushed in the 3rd round. Bad IQ. Beat Keita via leg kicks. You know, that was a tough loss for Keita. Beat Cub Swanson. And, you know, almost want to take a shot on Renato here. I think that Hernandez is cutting more weight. I think Hernandez is going to be the stronger fighter, a little bit bigger, even though he's going to have a disadvantage in the height department, maybe even the reach department. Hold on, let me double check that. Same reach, but losing some height to Renato. But I think he's going to be the thicker fighter. The Constrictor team. Not a bad team. Also American top team. You know, I like Renato's. He's very professional. Listen to his interviews. Not a bad guy to take. Hernandez seems like he's still growing. He's still maturing. You know, saying he's going to party every time after he's going to win. I'm going to go party my ass off. You know, that shit's for the birds. You want to go with the guy who's a full-time fighter, fully invested. I know Alexander's humble right now, but Renato is probably more of my lean. I'm kind of going against my gut because I love Alexander Hernandez. I've picked a lot of his fights correctly. The only fight I got wrong on him on was Cowboy Cerrone. Don't bet on the guys who talk shit. Manny Martinez, Ronnie Lawrence. What I like from Manny Martinez, this is another underdog guy I've been thinking about. Waiting for weigh-ins, but I love the camp he's training at. Training with Yanez, training with a good group of guys. You're going to see improvement out of this guy, 100%. Did he get a favorable matchup in his first fight? No. He got a grappler. He wanted a striker. Striker versus grappler. He still made it out. And here's the thing a lot of people are missing, because I hear a lot of people taking Manny. He was overweight in this fight. He missed weight and still had a tough fight against Guido Canetti. He was a little underrated. Tough old guy. And you got to see how he does at those scales. You have to. I haven't watched any of his interviews. But from what I saw, oh, look at this. His first fight, he saw Derek Lewis. Now he's fighting on the same card as him with a full send shirt. I'm thinking about it. I kind of am leaning on the side of Manny. I think he's better on the feet. You just got to wonder if Guido Canetti can take you down, Ronnie Lawrence can take you down. And how often is he going to take you down? He's got gas tank for 3 rounds. You can work him for 3 rounds. I am leaning the over on this fight. I think Manny's a little bit tougher than Vince, in my opinion. But we'll see. Definitely leaning towards the over. Let's take a little peek. A little peek. Over 2.5 is the favorite. Books think it's going the distance. Wow, Lawrence by decision plus 100. It's probably going to be the outcome. I don't mind this. Martinez by decision plus 550. Another bet I wouldn't even mind on this. They have it out. It's usually at the bottom. But I would love to see the line. DraftKings got it. Finish only. Because I think Mana Martinez could beat Ronnie Lawrence up on the feet. It's not out. They don't have a line for it. How unfortunate. Got a decision only line? Nope, unfortunate. Well, I guess I'll take the over there. That's my most confident bet on that pick. Very tough fight. Kind of want to lean the dog. I think, you know what it is? People are hyping up those 2 fights Ronnie Lawrence had and those takedown stats. People are really hyping that up. Who else is next? William Knight, Maxim Grishin. Now, I don't know why Maxim Grishin's the favorite in this fight. Here's what I think it is. I think Maxim Grishin, being the guy that knocked out Sean Strickland in sparring, has a little bit of an edge on these odds. There's a little bit of bias with this article coming out and the odds being the way that they are. You know, because once I heard this, I never would have thought it was Maxim Grishin, but it makes sense. He's up a weight class. You know, sparring Max Grishin, and mind you, me and Max spar a lot, and it's always a war. It was bound to happen. Me and him having this war. Well, the thing is that he might not be having a war this weekend. Because we all know how William Knight's going to fight. He's going to mix it up. He's going to grapple. He's going to work him on the fence. Do another fight where I'm leaning the over. Over 1.5. I think it's actually better odds, though. Not too juiced up. We'll see. Over 2.5 is minus 155. So the over 1.5 is going to be about minus 250. Not bad. Not bad at all. Something I would recommend taking. I'm taking a lot of overs in this fight, even though, like I said at the beginning, we should see a lot of bangers. We should see something that's going to make people talk about it on Super Bowl Sunday. Fuck. Okay. Who we got next? So, oh yeah. Well, I'm on Maxim Grishin. I think he's going to be able to outpoint him. I think he's better on the feet. He's fought better competition coming down from heavyweight. This guy just came off a close fight against Dustin Jacoby, which was very close. I had Dustin. But was it a sweat? Absolutely. Did he fight well in that fight? Absolutely. Fought a wrestler in Antigulov. Took care of him. Lost this fight. Completely underweight. 223. And he's fighting heavyweights, going the decision with them. Are people losing respect for him? Are people losing respect here? How do you go against this guy? Came in the UFC taking all these short notice fights. I believe this was a short notice fight for him. Came in, guys. How much did he weigh in this fight? I guarantee it was around 265. $252. Big weight discrepancy against, you're in another weight class. But I think Maxim Grishin is a little underrated here. He's the reason why he's the favorite, other than this bias that he's knocking out Strickland in sparring. But that should tell you something. William Knight, on the other hand, he's showing up at light heavyweight. He is showing up. He's working. But he's just not experienced enough. He's having a lot of these close fights. I think he is chinning as well. And Maxim Grishin could catch him. Am I leaning the over? Am I leaning the 1.5? Yes. But I am also leaning Maxim Grishin. I don't know if it's a knockout. More leaning decision. But I wouldn't be shocked. I know a lot of people are taking William Knight. I know he's really good, well-rounded. And he's probably going to get a couple takedowns on Maxim. But I just think Maxim is too well-rounded. And that when it is standing, you're going to see a disparity in the striking, especially with that reach disadvantage for William Knight. 73. 76. 3 inches. He's got a lot of height on him. A lot of height. 4 inches of height, 3 inches of reach. Not bad. And he's getting up there too, 33 years of age. I do like William Knight. I've been riding his wave for a long time. You know, this is the only fight I've lost on him. Haven't bet against him ever. But I think this is going to be the time I'm going to get off the bandwagon. I'll take Maxim Grishin. Usually, I'll give it by decision. Perez, Matt Schnell. I was kind of shocked by this line. You know, I think it's dog or pass. And Schnell 100% has a chance here. He's a fighter. He's going to die on his sword for you. He's going to fight for your money. But Alex Perez, man, he's going to damage him. Leg kicks, body kicks. He's gonna put damage on Schnell. Definitely not going to take this fight. But don't be shocked if you see Schnell fluke knockout Alex Perez. Not going to be shocked. But absolutely not even going to touch this fight. Not even going to touch an over and under. Definitely top fight on my list not to bet. Casey O'Neill, Roxanne Modafferi. Ooh. Yeah, here's my take on this fight. There's 2 ways to bet this fight. There's only 2 ways to look at this fight, in my opinion. Do you think Roxanne Modafferi is going to live, survive, or do you think she's going to get finished? Do you think Casey O'Neill is going to be the first to finish her in a while? And I kind of believe Casey O'Neill. I kind of do believe her. Her finish odds, where is it? I can't see. Inside the distance, plus 200. I like that. That's something I would take. I'd sprinkle that. Turn it a minus 400 into a plus 200. I like that. But, you know, these retirement fights, I want to think of like the last couple people who retired in the octagon. You know, Rashad Evans didn't go too well for him, but who went the distance? Little Nog went the distance. Lost the decision. That was a very close fight, actually. But it's just, I think Casey's going to take all of the eyes off of Roxanne and take them, and the eyes are going to be all on her. Because she's been getting a lot more media. Roxanne, when I watched a media day today, oh my God. Ton of questions for Roxy. A ton. And we got some good information. So many unrelated questions. Like, please do not, can all these interviewers just stop going talking about anime and unrelated crap at the fucking media day? Please talk about the fights. Go do that on your own interview off of UFC time. It's so embarrassing. Like, oh, they're having like side talk conversations. Like, it's so casual. Like a million people aren't going to watch this and say, what a joke. Be more professional, will you? Unbelievable. So I wrote down my notes here that she's feeling the pressure, and that her reason for her retirement, she said that she's basically, in a nutshell, she's getting tired. She can't take the damage as well. She's not waking up early enough. She's losing the drive, the motivation. She's halfway out the door. How can you bet a fighter who's halfway out the door? Halfway doesn't even want to fight. She also said she's been getting headaches and having to wear headgear. Another red flag. She's having damage. She's having damage done to her. Reminds me of Maxim Grishin. This was the one red flag that I had on. First thing I see on his Instagram, he's getting his brain scanned. Red flag. You know, what are you having problems? You don't know if he's going in hurt. But that's another red flag that I saw. But he looks good in training. All right, back on Roxanne. She's more focusing on the BJJ, which might help her, actually. She's training with... Who'd she train her last camp with? It was a BJJ grappler. That's pretty good. Here it is. Spider Monkey. So she's trained with Spider Monkey. Thanked him for the last camp. Not a bad guy to be sparring with, you know. She brought in Lauren Murphy, thanked her for her last camp. You know, she looks like she's having her hardest camp last, which is kind of shocking. But, you know, it's Roxy hasn't won by finish in so long. I wouldn't be shocked to see her come out with a sub, but it's Casey O'Neill by finish, in my opinion. Roxanne's getting out the door. She's feeling pressure. She's fighting to stay positive. She is excited for the fight, but another insider, they both share a common coach. So you don't know which side's giving inside information on what. But it does seem like a passing of the torch. The question is before you bet this fight, do you trust Roxanne to survive? I've always trusted her to survive. And my pick was, you know, I kind of want to take the over, but juiced at minus 360 for the over 1.5, and over 2.5 is minus 200. I'd rather get the dog odds on the finish for Casey. It's worth a shot at plus 200. You'll see that in a couple of my round robins for sure. What do we got next? Andre Olofsey, Jared Vanderaa. All right, I got a hot take on this fight, actually. Here's my hot take. All right, I can't spell. Jared Vanderaa has nothing to lose and everything to gain out of this fight. Everything. Here's why. Running a gym at Team Quest. Family run by Jared Vanderaa. That's going to boost him. You beat a big name like Andre Arlovsky, that's going to bring in a lot of money, a lot of revenue, and a lot of eyes on your gym, on your partnerships. You know, you're offering boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, BJJ, wrestling, and yoga. Yeah, you're sure as hell going to want to fight in the UFC and get some wins. And his volume, he's going to be the bigger guy. Early money has been just pouring in all over Vanderaa. Plus 185 he opened up at, now plus 120. That's a big dip. You don't really see big dips like that in other sports. You know, you see the biggest swings in MMA. Because once they know the side, it's all changed. I don't mind Jared Vanderaa here. I think he could win a close decision. I think he could win by knockout. I think he has more ways to win. Because Andre Arlovsky, you don't see this guy going for takedowns too often. You don't see this guy throwing up subs. When has he won by sub? Because that was what I was thinking. All the way down here, he started winning by sub. Was that his last submission? The Achilles heel? The Achilles lock? Yep. All the way in 2005 since this guy's had a submission. And he's training with Glover, I think, at ATT right now. You know, he's the Benjamin Button of the UFC. I think he said that too. The Benjamin Button of the UFC. Wow. Can't get rid of this guy. He does think his opponent's young. And UFC handpicked this opponent for him. It is short notice for Vanderaa. But this guy's got nothing to lose. He's going to go in there and lay it all on the line. That's what we're not going to see. And let me tell you something. Andre Arlovsky's not going in there to put it all on the line. He made his money. He's got what he has to do. He's going in there for his paycheck, in my opinion. Yeah, he likes to fight, but at 43 years old, there's only so much you can take. And Jared Vanderaa, even though he's one goofy motherfucker, he could get it done. The Mountain can get it done. What's my hot take on this pick? Another over 1.5. Another one. Let's see what it is. Ooh, we got nothing here. Over 2.5 minus 210. Ugh. They're all over it. They're all over it. Here's a bet I'd take. Let me see if it's already here. I would take Jared Vanderaa finish only. So So if it does go the distance, and typically Andre Arlovsky is going to win those, you'll get your money back. So it's like a free bet. Because I'm really confident Arlovsky's not going to get the finish here. So if you're looking for a free bet, a little free ride, Jared Vanderaa, finish only, it's definitely going to be a favorite bet. I'd cap it at minus 200, but I'm probably going to, that's definitely my bet to take here in this fight. So I like Jared Vanderaa by finish. Next fight, Bobby Green, Nasrat. I believe this fight was canceled for a little while. They took Green's fight off for a second, then put it back up. So I don't know if someone's coming in with an injury or whatnot. And I didn't really like Bobby Green's interview. I did, but I didn't at the same time. Because he said he's only here for the money. You know what I mean? He's not here to become the champ or whatnot, even though he's not. You don't really want him to sell you a pipe dream, but he's in it for the money. And he's unreliable at sometimes. He's fighting for entertainment rather than to win sometimes. And I love Bobby Green. I've been betting on him every single fight. And I definitely think he won against Rafael Fiziev and Thiago Moises. But they robbed him. And Nasrat's alive here, but I just don't see a good bet on this fight, especially the over-under. It's a little fishy, too. Bobby Green starting to find the finish. I mean, Alaquinta took off a lot of time in that fight. I mean, when was his last fight? If we take a look. Yeah, Alaquinta took off for over a year. That's not... over 2 years off and you come in? Yeah, that's not good. It's not good. Digressing. So, I don't know if they're coming in with an injury or whatnot. Bobby Green always a loose cannon there, in my opinion. I want to bet the over in this fight. I do. I do want to pound the over. It's fair. 200, minus 220, 215, 225 at some spots. That's fair. But given their interviews, it really sounds like they're going to come out and they're going to bang. And I trust both of their chins. But I think there's just going to be some better spots on this card. Yeah, to bet it. It might sprinkle the over, but I'm not super confident in anything in regards to that fight. Other than both of their chins holding up, possibly. Now, Kyler Phillips, Marcelo, Rojo. Let me just take a look at the odds in this fight. Completely juiced. They think Kyler Phillips is just going to blast right through him. Look at that over-under, 2.5 rounds. I like the under. I love the no distance in this fight. I think someone's going to go. I think Rojo is just going to walk him down, and they're going to have a firefight. And I think Kyler Phillips has a little bit of a sour taste in his mouth from his last fight, getting robbed by decision against Paiva. I think he's not going to want to let it go to the judges. And I think these guys are all going to lay it down on the line. Marcelo said he's going to, try to pace himself a little bit more, but I don't know. I think they're just going to swing and bang right off the bat. I think they're going to be one of the fights that are 100% going to put on a show. I love the no distance in this. Love it. A couple of bangers. They're going to come put on a show, especially on the main card. Yeah, they're coming to bang. Cannonier and Brunson. Ooh. Tough fight. It's going to be a lot of money bet on this fight. A lot. Late in the night. I think he said something in one of these comments. I don't know why it's not showing me comments. This is what the gamblers want to see. He looks like great shape. Great shape. Moving around a lot. What do I have on him? Brunson. He sounded good in his interview, but he also... red flags. I got some red flags from him. Very upset with this guy, actually. Said he has 2 fights left, and he's done. He wants to get the belt and retire. Sounds a little bit like a pipe dream to me. Sounds like a Steven Wonderboy Thompson pipe dream. I'm going to get the belt and ride off into the sunset. And as he's going up to media day, to the interview, he has his phone out. He's playing a game. I'm playing spades. Have a little bit of respect for the guys. Come on. Put your phone away. Let's talk some business. Do your media obligations. Play your game later. But I know all of this looks good. He has a big hype train right now, but there's a feeling, there's something itching in the back of my head that he has 1 foot out the door. 1 foot out the door. He could get the sub again, though. I do like his BJJ advantage. And I'm not a fan of Crystal Boy here. Mr. Crystal Worshipper. Where's my amnestis? Jared Cannonier. Oof. This is one of the tougher fights. I did pick Cannonier right off the bat. I said he was going to stuff some takedowns, get the KO. I do want to back that, but there is something in the back of my head that Derek Brunson could just grind on him on the fence and just outpoint him by just staying busy. Getting a takedown, letting him get back up. He has 3 rounds of gas just to clinch him and Kamaru Usman him. You sit on the fence, clinch him, and foot stomp for 3 rounds. I could see that by Derek Brunson. That might be his smartest game plan. Just smother and don't give Cannonier any breathing space. You definitely don't want to do that because he's going to swing, and he swings harder. I don't mind that at all. I think we're going to see something similar to the Darren Till fight. Maybe even see Brunson get knocked down once, but I think he's going to win a split decision, in my opinion. I think he is. Cannonier by knockout or Derek Brunson by split. Here's the way you could bet this fight. Let me see if the odds are out.